Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're looking at a awesome free plugin called TugPhonon. Now I know with a name like that we have kids at the back of the class sniggering and hysterical with laughter, but let's be adult and ignore that joke and move on, shall we? You may have already seen this plugin on Dash Glitch's channel. In fact, that's where I first saw this and was so blown away by it I had to try it myself. And let me tell you, it does not disappoint. However, having said that, let me mention two things that I don't like about it, and I'll do that with the caveat that I know it's free, so I know that complaining seems incredibly ungrateful. But with that caveat in place, there are two things I really don't like about the interface that hopefully they can be fixed in future editions. And to be honest, I really don't understand the logic behind not doing it initially. And the first one is the scroll. So we have here up to tape head 7. I'll explain how this works in a moment, but essentially we have tape heads down the bottom, and there are 8 of them. And down the bottom here on this scroll bit, we stop at 7, and we have to scroll across to tape head 8. I just don't understand why this interface wasn't extended. It only has to go, like an inch or so over. It's honestly don't understand why that design choice was taken. It just seems bizarre to me. And the other complaint, and like I said, I use that word softly, is that the interface isn't resizable. So it's very, very small on my screen. But with that out the way, and like I said, I'm still incredibly grateful that this plugin is for free, as well as all his plugins. I'll leave a link in the description, so go check them out. They're all fantastic. So what is TugPhonon then? Well, essentially it is a platter. So this circle here, think of that as a platter, like your old mechanical hard disk essentially. And this spins around, and on that platter, we have 8 tape heads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 8 tape heads. And these tape heads capture a fragment of that audio. So here it will capture that fragment of audio 25%, or actually 12-ish% into the loop. And then based on that capture, it will do something based on this head here. Well, actually this is head 3. So head 3 here, whatever you do here will apply to that tape head 3. And we can do things like we can pan it, we can change the offset, we have a little EQ down here. There's drive and an LFO, and then a mod section, which I'll get to in a moment. Next we have tremolo and ring mod, and the last option here is a resonator. And in that section we have various models. So let's choose comb, for example. Now where this gets really interesting is this is how the heads are set up by default. However, we can spread these heads. So now it goes along the full loop. However, even then, these tape heads aren't fixed. We can then further modulate each of these to move around this platter. So I just have this basic loop here. I'll play this back and we'll see this tape head spin. Let's slow that down a little bit. And then we'll do something with these tape heads. We'll just do something simple initially. We're just going to pan each one offset with each other. So left, right, left, right, left, right. Just something very easy to hopefully give an idea of what this is doing. And now hopefully you can hear that panning going on, or at least you can see it in these tape heads here. Then next, let's choose one of our resonance models. Let's go with bell for the first one, and this is just basically at random. Turn the mix up. Turn the wet all the way up. Just be careful with the feedback. When you turn it up, it does tend to ring out. And to get rid of that, just turn the feedback down. Let's also turn the dry wet up, so mix 100%. And then we'll continue on. These are just the random, like I said. And then we'll do one more, and then we'll leave the last 2 standard. Let's go this one. Currently, each one of these playheads is being triggered at a fixed interval. So we have 25%, 12.5%, and so on and so forth. But we can adjust the offset. So you can see that this first one now is moving. We're increasing that, or delaying it, I should say. Or if we're bringing it anti-clockwise like that, then we're bringing it forward in time. So let's leave head 1 where it is, and then 3. Let's push this back, and let's do the same for 5. Let's push that back, and then for 7, annoyingly I have to scroll. Let's bring that forward in time. Let's add some ring mod to number 3 and 5 next. In fact, let's turn this down because they're both on the left. Let's choose one on the right, so let's go. And the tremolo up as well, turn the rate down. Now we can hear that ringing out on the right. Let's give it a bit of reverb from the project. Bit of delay. And now next, we move on to my favorite bit, which I've left to last. All these playheads are fixed, despite the fact we can push them back and move them forward, like I said, with the offset, but they're still fixed in position. We can, however, turn this mod depth up, and each of these playheads will now circle around this platter. Let's choose something quite slow. It could be, however, we only want one of these to move, in which case we go to the second button here, moderate, make sure global modulation is switched off like so, and then we can choose the mod depth for that particular tape head. So here, only tape head 3, and I think it's this one because they've moved around a bit now, but I think it's going to be this one is going to move and all the rest are going to stay fixed. Let's turn the depth down, or the speed I should say. And then we'll do another one over here, 6, depth up. And then we'll do sample and hold perhaps. And then one more because I'm having fun, number 2. Let's put that on triangle. So now with all that said, and hopefully you understand how it works now, let's go and choose one of the presets. Let's go with Drummy. Let's cut a bit of the lows out with the external EQ. And give it a bit of kick and bass. Such a fun and awesome sounding plugin that just inspires creativity. I'll leave a link in the description, like I said, so you can go and check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with something else. We'll see you then. Bye.